Hi, this video is all about Reply's contact statuses, what contact statuses are available, how Reply assigns statuses to contacts added to sequences, and how you can manage those statuses. Here are all the Reply contact statuses. Reply assigns statuses to contacts automatically. You can assign statuses manually, but only if certain conditions are met. When a contact is added to a sequence, Reply automatically throttles it. You can see all the throttled contacts on the people page in the sequence. All the newly added contacts are marked as throttled until they pass the throttling threshold. Those that pass automatically get the active status. Once this happens, Reply starts processing those contacts through the steps. Active contacts receive emails as well as SMS and LinkedIn messages and can be tracked for replies. Want to stop processing a contact for the time being and resume it later? No problem. Just manually pause the contact and then manually reactivate it. The only prerequisite to manually pausing a contact is that it must be active. Paused contacts do not receive emails, and messages from the sequence and the replies are not tracked. Reply assigns the green replied status to a contact after they respond to your sequence email, or the email was forwarded by the prospect and then another contact replied to the forwarded email. This status is also assigned to a contact after they respond by SMS to a manually or automatically sent SMS related to a reply sequence, or after they respond to a LinkedIn message. You can find out whether the prospect replied by email, SMS, or LinkedIn message in the activity log. You can filter prospects by the replied by email, SMS, or LinkedIn, replied by SMS, replied by email, and replied by LinkedIn statuses in a sequence. In reports, emails, the reply rate shows only replies by email. Once the contact receives the replied status, the sequence stops for them by default unless you've selected Continue Processing Steps in Sequence, Settings, Replies, Handling. The replied status usually comes together with the finished status. When the contact replies to an email, SMS, or a LinkedIn message sent within the sequence, or when all the steps have been sent, the contact is automatically assigned the finished status. You can also manually assign the finished status to a contact, but only if the contact is active and also has the contacted status. Once contacts get the finished status, emails and messages are no longer sent to them, and the replies are not detected. You can manually change the finished status to active and continue processing steps, but only if the prospect did not complete all the steps of the sequence, or if you added some extra steps to the already finished sequence. Even if you manually make a contact with all the prerequisites of being finished active, it won't stay active for long and will automatically switch back to finished in a few minutes. Now let's talk about statuses that are assigned to contacts based on user behavior. The user did something or something happened to an email in the sequence, or to the data, for example. These statuses are contacted, opened, clicked, out of office, inactive, bounced, opted out, and auto-replied. The contacted status is assigned to the contact that received at least one email sent from the current reply sequence. You cannot set this status manually. Reply assigns the opened status to the contact when they open your email. This status can be set only automatically. The opened filter on the people page and on the people tab inside a sequence allows you to filter out all the contacts with the opened status in this account or in this sequence respectively. The blue clicked status is assigned to the contact that clicked a link in an email from the sequence when links tracking is enabled. Reply tracks those links that were added to the email template using the Insert Edit Link button in the template editor. Please also keep in mind that the clicks tracking option is disabled by default. To enable the detection of clicks on links, go to the specific sequence, Settings, General Settings section, and switch on Enable Links Tracking. To filter out prospects that click the links inside your template, go to the Sequence, People tab, and add a new smart filter with the status Clicked Property. The Out of Office status is assigned to the contact when Reply detects an auto reply with the out of office keywords. You can also set the status manually for active contacts with the contacted status. The status stops sending further steps to the prospect until you either manually remove this status or set the number of days passed for the steps processing to resume automatically. As soon as an out-of-office contact responds to your email, SMS, or LinkedIn message, Reply detects such responses and changes the contact status based on your sequence settings for handling replies. Mark person as finished or continue sending emails. The inactive status is set for a contact when a means of contact, such as a phone number, is not provided and the contact has reached the step where it's required, or if your contact's profile does not have a variable that you have added to the email template and there are no fallback variables. You can either update the contact's profile with a variable from the template or remove the variable from from the template. Emails and messages are not sent from a sequence to contacts with the inactive status. The inactive status can be removed only manually. The red bounce status is assigned when an email that was sent to a contact was bounced due to an invalid email address, unresponsive recipient mail server, or spam filter. You can change the email address for this contact to the valid one in their profile, uncheck bounced, manually set the active status, and resend the email within the same sequence. You can manually set the bounce status to a contact if it has the contacted status. Reply assigns the opted out status to a contact after they clicked your opt-out link to unsubscribe from further emails. This status is also assigned automatically when the contact responds with the unsubscribe request if you opted for the text opt-out option instead. Such responses should be sorted into the do not contact inbox category by our AI, but sometimes you may need to change the inbox category for your emails and set or remove the opted out status for a contact manually, as AI might not be 100% accurate. Reply won't send emails and messages to contacts with the opted out status. The opted out status is the only status that is contact based and is retained for a contact, even if the contact is not in the sequence. If a contact opted out in one sequence, they are marked as opted out in all the other sequences they are in. Also, a contact with this status cannot be moved to a different sequence. Reply assigns the auto replied status to the contact when it detects an automatic reply. It comes along with the finished status that stops sending out further steps to a prospect until you manually change the finished status to active. You cannot assign the auto replied status manually or remove it. Let's spotlight to call, called, and meeting booked statuses. Reply assigns the to call status to a contact when they are moved to the call step in a sequence. You can also set the status manually whenever you need to, both on the people page and inside the specific sequence, where you can also filter out all the contacts you need to call. The contact will have the to call status until you perform any of the actions related to calls. Complete a task of the call type, make a call using the Cloud Calls feature, or log a call via the contact sidebar. As soon as you perform any of these actions, the contact automatically acquires the called status. The called status is permanent and can only be removed manually via the contact sidebar. The meeting booked status is assigned to the contact when they book a meeting via the link you provide, created using the reply meeting booking functionality and settings on the meetings tab. To filter out all the contacts with the meeting booked status on the people page or in a sequence on the people tab, simply add a new smart filter with the status meeting booked property. With the help of the blacklisted status, you can blacklist unwanted contacts and entire domains in order not to email them. You can upload the list of blacklisted contacts and domains to reply or blacklist them individually. To blacklist a contact, go to the people page, select the contact and hit blacklist in the more menu. Blacklisted contacts are grayed out and marked with the black dot. You can also blacklist the entire domain if you don't want to contact anyone from this organization from here. To unblacklist a contact, select it and hit unblacklist in the more menu. To manage, upload from a CSV file, enter manually, blacklist or unblacklist domains. Navigate to settings, blacklists. Any contacts uploaded into your reply account with emails from the blacklisted domains will be automatically blacklisted and won't be sent any emails or messages. If you have any questions, reach out to our support team via live chat or send us a message at support@reply.io. We're always ready to help. Thanks for watching.